Now, were they juniors this year, or they'll be juniors the next academic
They're
year?
going to be juniors this coming fall.
Okay, so they've got a whole 2 years to really think about
Yep.
what they want to do.
Yeah, they're just coming off their sophomore year, and for some, maybe they already know they want to do college. Maybe even some of them want to know what they want to study. But I think most kids are kind of still in the exploratory stage at that age, Floyd. But we do know that it's for planting the seed of going to college is something. If the earlier you do it, the better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can attest to that. I didn't get into college until I was 21 years old. Decided to do some other things beforehand. But, when it came to sending my daughter on to higher education, I told her that it is easier to keep the ball rolling than to get it going again. So as soon as she was done with high school, we started looking at colleges because I will say, you can take a couple years off and that's great, but it is a little bit more difficult to get back into the swing of things. Now, I think this is a fantastic idea, having these kids down there. It sounds like it's worked pretty successfully in the past, and it really creating leaders in our higher education institutions throughout the state.
That's right. Floyd, we do a lot of, this isn't the only thing we do during the summer. We have a variety of camps, whether it be music or athletics or like astronomy and all that kind of thing. So kids are coming down here all summer from all over the state, and that's great. And then sometimes it's not even a UW program. For example, I know that American Legion had Boys State here on our campus last week. So we have these facilities we have down here belong to the people of Wyoming, and it's important that they're open and used by people from around the state. This is their university, and we're always really happy to have people come down here in the summer, especially the kids. But we have like teachers come here for training. We have all kinds of things happening.
Now, a symposium co-hosted last month by the University of Wyoming's College of Law and Hump School of Environment and Natural Resources brought together more than 350 people, both virtually and in person. And this is to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the nation's first national park, Yellowstone. Now, this two-day event was held at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West in Cody, and of course, this was before the tragic flooding and the changing of the landscape in Yellowstone. But Chad, what was the bigger picture purpose of this symposium?
So it was to, first of all, celebrate, right? The 150 years for the world's first national park, that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
And so that was a big part of it. But then it was also talking about, the challenges of having a national park where 4 million people per year come, it's tied in with a part of the state that's really important, this greater Yellowstone ecosystem for wildlife and other things that we hold dear here in Wyoming. And so it's kind of looking toward the future too about how do we make sure we preserve this, crown jewel really of Wyoming. And those of us, in Wyoming, I think it's the crown jewel of the whole national park system.
Yes.
And so it's making sure that, we preserve this unique and dynamic place.
And what types of subjects were really discussed regarding the national park?
So one of the things that I thought was particularly interesting was the involvement of Native American tribes. So, they were there before any of the white folks were. And of course, we're displaced, but it's an important place to I think 27 tribes.
Wow.
And so there were people represented from all there talking a little bit about that history and how they could be more involved, perhaps in managing it as we move forward. But then there was things like even a panel talked about how what an inspiration it is for artists and that sort of thing. Then we talked about the wildlife, of course, not just the big, charismatic critters like grizzly bears and bison, but even some of the smaller animals that are important there. Talked about, as the climate does change, how is that going to be impacted? Talked about just park visitation and how we're going to handle that in the future. It is kind of interesting that happened just relatively shortly before the big floods. And I'm impressed that they're kind of, reopening as quickly as they are. Even those north entrances looks like they're going to be open soon. So it's a place that a lot of people care a lot about, and that means it just takes a lot of collaboration to manage it appropriately, so that it's preserved, and yet all the national park is designed to be used by people, and so this is kind of finding that balance.
And at the same time, it is a place for conservation, and a place where we can house our natural resources in flora and fauna, and be able to observe those safely. And please, folks, from a distance. Chad, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to speak with us. It is always a pleasure, sir.
Same here, Floyd. Thanks.
When we come back, we're going to talk with the Friends of the Library. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE at 103.9 FM. Share.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
What if you had more time to manage your business operations, sell your products, or take a vacation? What if you had someone to pay your bills, handle your payroll, or watch your bottom line? Let the accounting professionals at Harker Mellinger add free time to your schedule.